Welcome to Ice Age TV. And what day is it today, right? I think it's Supersnake Day. You may say, well, Supersnake, isn't that a Mustang? It is. But it's also a 770 horsepower Shelby product, Ford F-150, that I haven't driven for 4 months. So ride along with me as I talk about my Supersnake adventures. Wow, I just got in my truck. I just asked the daughter, is this gonna have heated seats? No.
Turn on the truck, dude.
Turn on the key. I think you turned it on earlier.
You told me not to.
Okay, so already somebody's riled up here this morning. I haven't driven this truck like in 4 months. Tell me change the oil. I tried to do that yesterday, but I didn't have the right dang frickin' oil filter. That's a whole other adventure.
Has it not been an inch-worth oil change?
So,
kids,
I changed the oil in this truck. Ain't that hard?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Nah, she's starting to figure it out. So, all right. So here we go. We're gonna take a little ride in the truckie to the Indian dealer and see how she does. We haven't driven her for a while. I got the tire pressures all up. She needs fuel. I need to pair my phone, being I always get different phones all the dang time, so that's a whole other project. What are you saying?
Do you know how Carroll Shelby wrote his name on the old Shelbys?
Yeah.
They should have done that for this. I know, but they could have copied it like they did here. What? What?
Okay. Got it. The kid thinks that should be over there.
I think they should both be there.
What number truck? You know what? I'm always wrong. I said this is number 86. What number is this?
76.
Wow. This is number 76 of supposedly 200 units built. All right. Now, the first thing about this truck is...
I love it. This is my favorite.
You've got a... Here we go. Here's another favorite. It's got a shifter on the column.
It's a truck, Dad. It's a truck.
Which would be cool if it's had a console, but, you got a bench seat
it's
here.
A
but
truck.
But my old Dodge Viper had the stick shift right here.
This is supposed to be retro.
So anyways, I think that'd be kind of cool. And then this sport mode, drive modes, is a huge difference. It's once again the technology in these trucks doesn't really open up for vehicles until you get in sport modes. So a first drive since about the middle of August.
Mm-hmm.
Is that about right?
Mm-hmm.
She's choppy. That's one thing about this truck.
I love this.
With the suspension on it and everything. And then she starts creaking on you. And I lubricated her and hopefully I fixed that. So there you go. Wow. Oh yeah, now I'm remembering this little bad boy. Now, what'll be interesting is remember how we did the Ram TRX comparison? Remember how I was telling you how when I was driving the Ram TRX, I felt kind of had like the power of this vehicle? Did you hear that in that video?
I don't remember. What are you saying?
I'm saying that when we drove the Ram TRX, I was comparing the power feel in that 700 horsepower Ram TRX. And keep in mind, this is 770, but that Hellcat motor has more torque than this 5.0 Coyote motor. And I just said it felt very similar in powers. And, so I'm just now for the first time driving this truck, basically in 4 months. And, she feels really strong, if you know what I mean.
How are
See the
brakes?
Hellcat emblem in the back of this right here? Have you
How
noticed
are
that?
the brakes?
Oh, their brakes are fabulous.
Like the Mustang?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So here we go. I'm not in the sport mode either. I'm just in regular mode. You know, it's interesting. I posted a video, oh, I guess a year ago on this truck. They got it in November of 2020. And, you know, it didn't get a lot of attention, which I can kind of get that to a degree. I guess unless I'm doing burnouts and tracking it, you know, I mean, where's the fun factor of watching a video of a guy driving his supercharged 770 horsepower Supersnake Shelby Carroll product? Where's the fun factor, right? Where's the excitement in the video,
It's
right?
Carol Shelby.
Critiquing. So, anywho, yeah, so did that video get a lot of attention? Not really. It's, you know, like I said, I get it. But all right, let's not dwell on that. Let's just kind of do another fun day of driving around and the Shelby products. Because yesterday was all about the Mustang. And which are Shelby products. And today it's too cold. It's really cold down here, and it's not as warm as it was yesterday, so you really can't, you know, it's not as warm as yesterday, so I'm not driving the Mustangs today because the tires aren't going to be the greatest, and you shouldn't. 44 degrees or warmer is the recommended temperature to drive those Super Sport Michelin summer performance tires. Now this has an all-season tire on it, a Toyo tire, so it doesn't really matter if I drive in the rain. Or it's even got, this truck even has, you know, four-wheel drive. Pretty cool. This truck even has four-wheel drive in it. And, you know, and I've driven this thing in some pretty nasty days, believe it or not. Some people be like, what? You driving the thing in the rain and kind of nasty weather? Well, kind of, because I'm up north. And yeah, I mean, don't prefer to do that. Would I drive down the road with brine? No, I'm not going to do that. Forget that. You know, salted roads. So here we are, and she's pretty rigid, if you know what I mean. All right, just got her out in the open highway, and yeah, she's beefy. She's got some power there, and definitely feel the tires. That's what I was talking about, that Ram TRX. You definitely feel those big tires. The same thing in this truck here. You can really feel these tires, you know, because they're massive. You know, you're talking about today's technology of vehicles more than ever being able to handle just big tires and wheels. And yeah, same thing right here. It's beefy. Got a little Kia guy kind of keeping the pace down here, but that's okay. We'll have more chances to have a little bit of free-spirited fun today. How about that? Hey, let's take it over to Bristol Motor Speedway, right? Yeah, why don't they open that track up for us, right? Straight line, they got a track over there you can go have fun with. I think it's a quarter-mile track. Maybe it's an eighth mile. I don't know. The daughter's saying, Dad, you act like you never driven this truck. And I'm like, okay. So I was just, you know, complimenting, wow, you hear that supercharger whine? And she's just like, whatever, Dad. But, you know,
Dad,
that was
like
just...
it. I'm just saying you drove this truck a lot last year.
Okay, so yesterday I was commenting on the GT500. You don't hear that supercharger whine. But it's interesting, that part of the video never showed up actually. So if you watch my GT350, GT500 daddy-daughter day drive, actually there was a whole clip in there talking about the difference of the Challenger supercharger versus the GT500, you know, the Hellcat suit, you know, supercharger versus the Ford Shelby supercharger product. And you just don't hear that whine. But this Whipple supercharger on this vehicle here, you definitely hear that, you know, the whine, which a lot of people like that. I mean, it is neat, but I've commented from day one how Ford's GT500, that supercharger. If you didn't open that engine, and you would not know that supercharger's there. Now, keep in mind, I have hearing aids, so my hearing isn't as good as others. So I'm sure other people are like, no, wait, man, I hear that supercharger. But for me, I can't hear it. I mean, I don't hear it. This, I hear it. My Hellcats, I hear them. So, okay, well, all right. Maybe some people out there hear that supercharger on the GT500, but that exhaust is so nice and loud and cool. I just don't hear it. So anybody watching the video here, what you're probably thinking, well, what the hell is, this Shelby Supersnake, truck? What's this all about? Well, it's a company that is a distributor for Shelby products, and they take a standard F-150 truck from Ford. They try to get like an XL, kind of real base model, and they ship it to their factory, and they kind of gut it out, and they rebuild the suspension on it, put all different suspension on it. They put a supercharger on the motor, and they do different wheels and tires and brakes and rotors, and then they do the interior leather interior on it and all the stitching, and they do the carbon fiber. So, they make it a specialized truck that's been lowered, and it's got 770 horsepower. So it's the whole the Carroll Shelby theme of having just a really badass truck that, just continues to keep the heritage going of the Shelby line. And they branched off years ago into the truck side of it. And what most people see is the four-wheel drive lifted ones that are four-doors. And there's, the four-door lowered ones as well. And I really wanted my Viper truck theme. Which I had the Viper trucks back in 2004 and 5 and 6 and 7, 8. And I really missed those, but due to other things in my life at that time, I had to let them go. And so I really wanted something like that back. And I've been blown away that Dodge Ram has Hellcat motors. And why the heck didn't they make a two-door, Viper truck again with the Hellcat motor in it? It makes no sense to me. And instead they build the Ram TRX, which there's so many people in my forums like, oh my gosh, you need to buy the four-door Ram TRX. I really don't want the truck. I'm sorry. I'm not excited about that truck. So if they made a Ram Hellcat two-door lowered truck, would I have one of those? Instantly. Absolutely. I would have that all day long. The big high lifted four-door trucks, meaning the big beefy four-door trucks with the high performance motors in them, you can't drive them like you can a GT500 Mustang. So yeah, go ahead, go get the TRX, get your 10 miles per gallon, and it's a lot of truck. And when you hit 100 miles on our truck, you're going to start to see that, oh my gosh, this truck this is a lot of truck going down the road. Right. So yeah, for me and all of my Ram buddies and Dodge buddies would be like, yeah, but man, you're just dissing the Ram TRX. I'm not. I'm just telling you the way it is. So anyways, here, I just heard that little, no, here's the downside. Here's the non-auto, heat. Turn that thing to left a little bit. We're going to burn up this truck. Not only your daughter, but there she is. Yeah, she's getting it to the left. We're getting burned up. And these two-door trucks, whew, it is so hot in here right now. Yikes. Kids probably like, yeah, Dad, it's perfect for me. She's toasty warm. Now here's what's interesting is, you've got different drive mode settings. And little did I know a while back that, until you change the drive mode, this truck really doesn't give you everything it has. It's the Ford technology. And I could be wrong because this is a Shelby product, but I'd be amazed if the ECM on this truck isn't kind of in tune with this truck's capabilities, where, you know, it's tied into that sport mode, you know, capability. And all right. And so one thing about this truck is, you know, is it jar you around? Yep. It's short wheelbase. It's a stiff wheelbase. So do you get bounced around in it? Yeah, you sure do. You know, it's a truck ride. And that's what I was saying about that TRX truck. If you like that bump, if you like that truck feel, you know, you're gonna love that TRX truck because it drives like a truck.
That Gold Rush Charger.
Oh wow, Gold Rush Charger here in the Dodge here. Yeah, we're heading to Bristol to the Indian dealership today. It'll be the Indian Motorcycle Adventure, but we're not riding our Indians. So that's what we're doing. To get out after our Thanksgiving day and see what they have. They really haven't had great inventory. And I'm just curious. Plus just to get out and do some free spirited driving with my F-150 Supersnake truck. Yeah, so going back to the conversation, why Ram had to make a Baja competing truck with the Raptor. You know, and that's the thing is, I'm a Raptor guy. You know, I'm sorry for all the Ram guys out there. I'm going to buy the Raptor before I buy the Ram TRX. I don't need 770 horsepower in a big ass lifted truck. I mean, if I needed it, I'd have one. Why don't I have the 770 horsepower 4-door lifted Supersnake Shelby truck? I don't want it. I don't want the truck. I mean, it's just, you're not gonna, you know, I love the car power. I love the more lowered stance to the ground product. Let's go to the daughter now is making fun of me as I go to sport.
Dad,
so does this open up a little bit more?
Why does it have tow haul?
Look at that. Well, because it's, oh yeah, so see his truck, I can already feel it. And the daughter says, I have tow haul because it's a generic setup. This truck could be.
I get it. I thought so, but I was just checking.
Okay. Got the hot shots on me. I'll have to move her a little bit. Yeah, this truck just scoots down the road. But you know what? I talk about this is the inertia factor. And that's what I talk about when I talk about even the Ford Shelby Supersnake truck racing the Ram TRX. It's pitiful. So, you know, for all the Ram guys that can be listening to me right now going, you know, he just disses this Ram product. I'm not dissing it. I'm telling you the facts. But what I can tell you though is they did a Ram TRX 4-door truck race to this truck 2-door Supersnake race, and that Ram TRX held on really well up until about the 60-70 mile an hour range, and it's because of the inertia. It's because of the wind resistance on these vehicles, and then just shameful. I'd be borderline selling my 4-door Shelby lifted Supersnake truck after I watched the Ram TRX video. So they finally, and here's the thing, they just wanted to get a lot of attention with this 2-door Supersnake truck, which I get that. It's all about advertising. It's all about click the YouTube video to watch things. So the first video they did against the TRX was this 2-door Supersnake, and did it beat it? Yeah. Was it radical? It wasn't radical, but it beats it. So for all the Ram guys out there, as long as you haven't modified your TRX, I'm going to beat you. But on the other end, I said from the get-go when I saw that video was, why didn't they do the 4-door Supersnake lifted Shelby with 770 horsepower? It has more power to the Ram TRX. It has like 700 horsepower 4-door. Why didn't they compare those two models? And so then a little while later, they did do a video on that. And oh my gosh. I mean, I would have sold my Supersnake 4-door truck. If you see that video, the Ram TRX destroys it. It's not even a race. It's not even a race. I mean, you can see the expression of the guy, and what happened is they had these auto internet journalist guys that do these races that borrow other people's vehicles. And so you can see the TRX guy standing there. You can see the Supersnake guy that let other guys drive his vehicle. And you can just see the look of this guy's face was like, I paid how much for that freaking truck? And it's just, it didn't do anything. It was embarrassing. I mean, I'm not lying. I would have taken that truck and I would have gave it back to the dealership and said, here, I want something else. I want nothing to do with this. So you know, going back to high performance, big ass, lifted trucks, yeah, badass, but the wind resistance of these vehicles is huge. So again, these high speeds, it's a truck overtakes that, you know, that feel of, oh yeah, you're in a, you know, performance vehicle, nimble, jimble. Uh-oh, the wife's looking for me. All right, the ongoing jibber jabber. Some guys are like, this guy talks too much, right? Well, I'm just giving you information because I think there's going to be a lot of Ram TRX trucks sitting on the used car lots down the road. Some guys will be like, yeah, you're dreaming. Nah, yeah, I mean, you know, those things are gas hogs and badass. Yeah, but, you know, at the same time, I just can't see it, can't taste it. Some others will be like, you're delusional. That's fine. I'll be delusional. I can take being wrong, you know, or they hold their value. Yeah, they'll hold their value. I don't think that's going to be anything to really be talking about, if you kind of know what I mean. So back to the F-150 Supersnake, though, and that's what I really am focused on today, and that's really what I'm trying to convey to others is, yeah, if you really want a fun sport truck, here it is. But the downside is, Shelby's not making this truck anymore, from my understanding. I could be wrong, and I would have to call my rep to find out about that. But a guy posted a while back that he got like one of the last of these. Like there was 200. Supposedly I have number 76 of 200 units built worldwide. Is that factual or not? You know, I don't know. I can't tell you. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter to me, but I can kind of understand with some people out there being like, well, you know, it's kind of a nice video to watch, but it's nothing I'm going to be able to afford or attain. But yeah, but that really isn't the message here. It's more about, hey, if you're looking around for products and fun, and a lot of people are fixated on the Ram TRX right now, which, you know, that's $90,000. You know, you can get one for 70s if you get the dealer order one. It doesn't have much. That's a great deal. Or, you know, you get the Ford Raptor. Get the Ford Raptor. I'm just trying to convey to people that a high-performance lifted truck, I'm just telling you, at the end of the day, I just can't see it. And a lot of people are like, you're crazy. All right, well, okay, get one, have fun. But would I rather have like a Ram 2500 with a Cummins diesel motor? And like a mega cab all done up? I sure in hell would. I'd buy that over the Ram TRX. Sorry. I mean, just like right now, I'm talking about how the Ford F-150 Tremor, bang for the buck, that's a better deal than buying a Raptor. I mean, you know, it's just more about me kind of trying to convey to others information, and you got to get the horsepower out of your system, and yeah, go buy the Ram TRX. I mean, I know right now Coons Ram Dodge at Tyson's Corner, Virginia, they right now, I went to their website, they have, I think, like either 68 or 70 Ram TRX trucks ordered. So if anybody thinks they're going to be in a bind to find a TRX, you're not. Those things are readily available, and you're going to be able to get them. The key is, you know, do you get a good deal? And apparently, you know, I'm starting to see out there's some really great deals on Ram TRXs where they're selling them below MSRP. So there's another great thing. So yeah, that gets very attractive. You go that direction, then you get one discounted. Yeah, could you go have some fun with it and then turn it back in? Yeah. So, all right, you're probably like, geez, this guy's just talking about the Ram TRX now. I thought it was about the F-150 truck. It is. As we ride down the road, the truck is stiff and makes rattling noises and exhaust noises and supercharger noises, and, you know, and all for that, you know, put your pedal down, pedal to the metal, and what happens, right? Know what it's all about, I guess, right? Yeah. Kid's pretty quiet. Turn the red button to the off position, it'll change. Beautiful country down here in this Bristol. We're going to be up in this Bristol, Tennessee, Virginia area. And, you know, believe it or not, there's a Bristol, Tennessee, Bristol, Virginia. I mean, so if you say you live in Bristol, you know, somebody's like, well, which Bristol do you live in, Tennessee or Virginia? Isn't that interesting? Talk about getting confused. Confusion. And I'm taking the back way in where we'll end up coming in where the Bristol Raceway is, actually. Here we come. See here? There it is. For all the NASCAR lovers, here you are. Right up here on the right. How to sneak into the track and do some circles around it and see if they know, right? Hey, what's going on here? Got a bunch of trailers. Oh, it's just trailer sales. There it is. There's all the hotels to accommodate all the NASCAR people, I guess. Big stuff. Now there's a back way up here. I think I turn left up here. It gets me over to the Indian deal. They do a Christmas theme during the Christmas months. Just so you know. Wow, these back roads. You really hear this supercharger under this truck. Do you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so cool. It just has that nice supercharged noise to it, which I just haven't noticed that as much. Well, you know, I haven't driven this truck that much. Even though, think about this, I bought it a year ago in November of last year, and I got 5,000 miles on it. So that time, you know, I drove it a lot, actually, back when I first got it. I'm going to keep it down south. Now, you know, do I bring it back up north? Debatable. You know, see me, you can hear that. You can really hear that supercharger. That's pretty cool. Now, the exhaust, I think the exhaust, it'd be nice to have a little louder exhaust, but the danger of that is it just then radiates so much into this small cab, which I think then you'll regret it. You know, there's a fine line of that exhaust being, you know, you enjoy it or it becomes really obnoxious. Be interesting here when you go to the Indian motorcycle dealer today. Now they call it Friendship Motorsports, State Line Indian. You know, they have a few different names here in Bristol, and they're just in pretty much an Indian Polaris dealer. And it'd be very interesting to see if they have much inventory. Because if you watch any of my videos, you'll hear my constant conversation about, you know, the car and motorcycle market, RV market, you know, how the supply, you know, issues have created crazy prices for new vehicles, used vehicles. And so last time we were here in August, and I bought a Scout 60. Used 2016, and I paid pretty good money for it, but it had a lot of aftermarket on it, very low miles. It had 2,000 miles on it, and the guy had put a good $3,500 of aftermarket accessories on it, so I justified me paying some pretty good money. So it wasn't radical, not really that expensive. And I could have ordered a brand new one. and I'd have paid more. I mean, by the time I would have optioned it out the same way, it'd have been, believe it or not, $5,000 more. So I got a pretty good deal considering that. And but you know, I'm very curious. Do they have 4, 5, 6 units in their dealership that are available new? Do they have 1? Do they have 10? So what's, and then they're going to have, my guess is we'll have a lot of used machines. So follow along as we enjoy the Shelby Supersnake free-spirited riding day, road driving day. All right, here we go. Here's the Indian dealer. What be interesting? Did they close up for the holiday weekend? I mean, these type of things happen. I don't think they did, but some business like, oh, we'll just give everybody off a 4-day weekend. So Thursday you're off, Friday you're off. It doesn't look like it because there's cars here. The new Hyundai Cruise, Santa Cruz vehicle. Well, got customers. It's happening. All right, we are here at State Line Indian. Is that the correct name, Shane?
That's the correct name.
And hey, Shane. Yeah, well, Shane's one of my salespeople that I bought that Scout from.
Yeah.
And we come and bug them all the time because we're always looking for inventory. And I was here back over the summer, and it was the same story. If you want to buy something, you can't because they don't have what you want. So I always like to ask Shane what's going on in the market, and so he's been kind enough to let me video him and kind of give some knowledge to anybody looking around to buy motorcycles. What's kind of going on in the market as far as getting a unit?
We're actually getting trucks almost every day. Indian is producing bikes and as fast as they can. The demand for them, I don't know if it's the COVID or what the problem is, but the demand for motorcycles is incredible, even in the colder temperatures right now. We're getting trucks almost every day, and if there's, say, 3 units on them, 2 of them have been pre-orders that we have ordered from back in the summer. And when we check them in through our service department for them to assemble them, they'll auto-populate on the website.
Yeah.
We've got folks coming up and buying them out of the crate.
Wow.
They don't even make it to the sales floor.
Right.
We typically have got 40 new Indians on the floor. Right now I've got 3, I think, that aren't sold. We've got a ton of used bikes. We've got plenty of inventory.
Right.
But it's just a little slower to come in. Parts, everything's starting to pick up now. When we were ordering back during the summer, we were having to tell folks 12 weeks, something like that. And now we're down to about 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks.
Right.
That's the new Super Chief running over there. That's that one is available. That's one of the few new ones. That's the brand new 22s.
Now, what's the most popular, most common sold, Indian product? I think I know the answer. Scout.
The Scouts are always hot. They're just a fantastic little around town. You're 3-4 hours out by or something like that. We have folks that travel on them. The next one up is the Scouts are always hot. The Chiefs have been a home run. We can't keep those on the floor. And then the Challengers have really came on. They've only been available a couple years, and so much so, I work here. I can ride whatever I want. I ride a Challenger.
Right.
They're just that good. 108 cubic inches, liquid cooled, all the bells and whistles. They're just that good.
Well, tell me about this bike, this new Scout Bobber. This is crazy. So you're saying this is a Scout Bobber
This
with
is
a
Chief.
Oh, Scout Chief
Yeah.
Bobber.
No, it's not.
It's the Chief Bobber.
Right.
Okay, so I need to back up on that. So this is the new Chief series.
Right.
Where I say that the engine, the frame was built around the engine.
More or
kinda-
less. They
and,
molded handlebars to an engine.
and it's got a 116.
116.
That thing's a rocket.
It's the bike order come with a backrest because it'll slide you off the back seat. It is, the torque is incredible on that motorcycle.
So I didn't know this. So I didn't know this is dangerous. Okay, so this is dangerous for me. That this is, I was thinking when I first walked in that this is the. When I first walked in here, the conversation was about this bike right here, and I'm thinking it's a Scout, but I was like a big bike, but no, that's actually a Chief, the new Chief bike that they just introduced this year, right?
This
So-
is the Scout as far as
All right, so this is the Scout. Wow. So that's the Scout. Got a lot of noise going on in here because people hear the exhaust on these bikes. So now, what year is the Scout?
21.
So it's brand new.
This is a 22.
So with the Chief, though, the Chief was built new 21 or 22?
22 is the first year of the Chief.
Okay, so you can now get a Chief set up that looks borderline like a Scout and a bobber setup.
A little bigger, yeah, it's a little bigger than the Scout.
Wow.
The Scout is the Scout is an overhead cam liquid cooled engine. It's the little brother to this engine. The Scout is about 550 pounds and 100 horsepower. They're little tire smokers. These dudes right here, torque and horsepower is different. This is the old school air cooled big 116, a lot of cubic inches. Difference in torque and horsepower. Horsepower is how fast you hit a wall. Torque is how far you take the wall with you. This thing is a tractor pulling red light to red light. I mean, it's just a beast. I wish I hadn't rode one because I kind of want one now.
I know, that's what I'm just saying to you.
I'm riding the 21, this exact
Right,
bike,
right.
So I have a new bike, but I mean, these things, they're incredible.
So when will another one be coming in? Do you even know?
We've got several on order. We've got them in all different configurations. This one with the 116 also has the digital infotainment system. It has all of the maps, the GPS, the ride modes. You can go from rain mode, which kind of mellows everything out, to standard mode, which is just that, standard like any other motorcycle. You go to sport mode, you better be hanging on because they'll pull your hands off the bars. I mean, it's literally, I built a drag bike a couple of years ago, and we were putting 130 horsepower on the ground on my drag bike. This bike will outpull it out of the hole. Now, I'd probably run it down by the end of the pad. Straight stock, that bike would outpull my drag bike.
Now, what's the color availabilities on 2022 Chief bobbers?
This one is titanium metallic. There's several other in the Dark Horse line.
Is this a dark horse?
This is a Dark Horse. Anything with the blacked out engine and the matte paint. How they make matte paint shiny, I'm not sure. It's kind of a proprietary secret, I suppose.
Right.
But the difference is with the new style of matte paint, used to on the old one, the oil from your fingers would leave marks. And here, there's nothing on it. That's the difference in the new style matte versus the old style matte.
Now, is that adjustable shock?
It is. This one is adjustable preload with the spanner wrench. And it's a little different. It's kind of the same geometry as the Scout, but it's a little different shock. Now, like the Challenger is a hydraulic Fox monoshock on the back. It's adjustable as well. You adjust it for weight.
Now, what about a price on that? What is that type of price on that?
They're gonna
MSRP.
They're, depending on coming from the base, they're going to start in the mid-teens, depending on what you get in it, on it.
Yeah.
Up to the mid-20s if you do, say, Super Chief Limited, which has the bags, the windshield, the touring seat.
Right.
It's an all-out touring bike. So there's the difference in that.
Right. So if you really max it out, what are you talking?
Mid-20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, that is a really good looking Scout. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a beautiful bike. So what are the prices on that bike? Roughly.
That one, you're going to be in the low teens.
Low teens?
Low teens.
Wow. So is that actually custom ordered factory? You know, is that an order for you guys?
It's an order, but it's a standard paint color for us.
But you guys did the back seat, or the customer did that?
The back seat is an add-on with the bobbers. This one still has the factory pipes. Looks like the only add-on on that one is the back seat back rest.
Wow. But that's the actual Scout, not the Scout 60.
That's the Scout, the standard Scout bobber. The Scout
Right.
60, the easy way to tell on the Scout 60s is they won't say Scout under them right here. They'll just say Indian
Okay.
on the 60s.
And the big difference is the motor.
It is. It's a difference in 60 cubic inches. It's a difference in about 78 horsepower, I think, and 100 horsepower. The difference in the transmission, they're a 5-speed versus a 6. Horsepower wise, if you're just running around town, kind of local bike, bar hopper they call them, whatever, I actually prefer the 5-speed because I'm not shifting as much. If I'm going to be doing some interstate travel, that 6-speed is nice. You get better gas mileage, it doesn't whine. But now what they did, they didn't tighten the gear ratio somewhat on the 60. So if you're running this bike in this lane and the 60 in this lane, and you're both in top gear doing 70 down the interstate, the 60's not winding its guts out. They kind of varied the gear ratio on it.
What about the weights on the 60 versus
They're
the?
basically the same. There's about 5 pounds difference.
What about tires?
Same thing. Yeah, you can take these 10s off and put them straight on a 60.
So the whole specs in the bike are pretty much the same, with the exception of the transmission and the engine output.
Then one gear and the engine, everything else is just cosmetic. The standard Scouts, like the blue one for here, has the chrome bars, some of the chrome on the engine. The bobbers are a little bit different than the Dark Horse because they already have the blacked out bars. The standard Scouts will have chrome bars, chrome mirrors, chrome switches, things like that, where the 60 is blacked out bars. We call the 60 not necessarily an entry level bike, but it was brought out for a younger rider or somebody for a second bike to run around town, or if it's just someone that just wants to have a bike that they're not going cross country on or something like that. Even if my bike's here, when I get ready to go to lunch, if we've got one outside, that's what I jump on, is one of these Scouts.
No, I've been
torque and horsepower, they're a blast to ride in traffic.
But what I hear in the Indian forums, which I belong to, is the women love this bike. That's a very popular motorcycle for the women.
It is. One of our parts ladies ride one, but now one of our service techs, and he's a die-hard bike guy. He builds choppers. His chopper's back here.
Yeah.
He has a Scout bobber too.
Right, but I think if a woman walked in the showroom today, I would think you'd probably say this is something I would consider first, because it's a great, versatile motorcycle.
Normally so. Women are typically a little smaller, and this has the lowest seat height, the lowest engine height in its class. Because it's so much lower, the center of gravity's lower. The bike weighs 550 pounds, but it doesn't feel 550 pounds because it's built so low. It keeps a low center of gravity, and that's kind of what Victory and now Indian have been known for, is their handling.
Right.
And this is right along the same vein. It's got the same size tire. You know, some of the smaller bikes have got like a 21 up front with a narrow tire. It follows the tar snakes in the road or whatever, the cracks in the road. This one, not so much, because it's got the same size tires on both ends.
Right, right.
Also adjustable suspension. They're just phenomenal little motorcycles.
But your biggest challenge, you can't get them fast enough to sell them.
We normally try to keep about 10 on the floor, and if we had a truck roll in here today with 10 on it, by Wednesday, 8 of them would be gone. They're going that quick.
All right. Well, Shane here, he's been very kind to let me video him here at State Line.
State Line Friendship Motorsports.
I call it Friendship Motorsports because they're friendly down here, and they really do have a nice operation. So anybody in the Bristol, Tennessee, or Virginia area, or even further away, you should definitely come by and visit Shane, because he really does know they need a product. I can't emphasize enough that I buy a lot of stuff, and I try to hook up with the people that know their product, and he knows his product, as you could tell. I could probably keep him going for the next hour, but I can't do that. So I appreciate you doing that, Shane, and hopefully somebody will come visit you from me posting this on my YouTube channel.
Let's hope so. Everybody subscribe to Ice Age TV.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Now we're talking.
There we go.
All right, just leaving the State Line Indian. And if you see here, the reason they call it State Line is you're right on the state line of Virginia and Tennessee. So had a really good time. They had the big Black Friday sale, and we lucked out because we got 25% off our Indian paraphernalia goodies. And hey, that's a miracle. I didn't buy anything besides clothing. Didn't buy a motorcycle. Wow. I should pat myself on the back, because I literally, my daughter.
Stop.
My daughter is actually patting me on the back. because I actually went to a motorcycle dealership and didn't buy a motorcycle. Now, in all sincereness, if they probably had something that was pretty cool, yikes, like that Indian Scout that they had there. Wow, I really like that. That was a really nice looking bike. So, but that's just a really nice dealership because it's just, to me, a laid back environment. I think it just has great people work there. So anybody in the market for a nice Indian motorcycle, I think you'll enjoy your Friendship Motorsports experience. Now it's back to the F-150 Supersnake conversation, right? It's a cold day today. I'm really glad we did the Mustang GT 350 500 daddy-daughter day yesterday because today it's cold.
Stop.
I mean, it's
red.
It's a cool, cold day. Where's the temperatures? What's the watch say? You can't even see it. Oops.
No.
I'm not going anywhere. Let me hit it on my... Ever notice these technology these days? I can't see it.
Here, Dad.
What's it say?
Here, let me just go to the weather app, dude.
Okay, so...
It's 39 degrees.
Wow. I mean, it's cold. So, wow. So, yeah, we did the right thing yesterday. We rode around the right day. So, that was meant to be, thank goodness. Now, if you watched my tow video with my F-150 Tremor last night, it showed us coming into the Bristol area, and they have the Bass Pro Shops
blinkers on
and a lot of good things. And we'll be up next to that here in the next moment here. Check it out. Now, is this just my imagination, or are you hearing that supercharger? Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Wow. Here's something dangerous. Is this Friendship Motorsport or Friendship Ford? Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll have me being their friends everywhere, right? Friendship up, yep. Friendship Ford. So that company owns the motorcycle dealership. They're a big car dealership network. So yeah, they'll be friends with me, right? Look at this up here. Bass Pro Shops. Look at it. Oh my goodness. It looks like it's packed. Let's check it out. Oh yeah. Look, parking is outside of the parking. Look at that. Look at the line of cars to get into that place. Yeah. I'll be passing going there today.
Yes.
Wow, look at that. I mean, they ain't hurting for business, are they? Yikeskers. Alright. I like taking the slow way back.
Yeah.
Instead of getting on 81, you know? Go the back way.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, man.
Yeah, avoid at all costs. Yeah, that place is, oh, look at that line. A line to get out of the frickin', yeah, a line to get in and out of that place.
Because it's Bass Pro Shop, Dad. What do you expect?
Yeah, see, the daughter is correcting me, right? Gas stations are packed.
This area is different from our area.
Oh, our area is even worse.
No, I'm saying.
Oh, wow, they're building another gas station probably up here, too.
No, Dad, you're not listening.
What are you saying?
The area we're staying in right now, Omi's house, is not this crowded.
I like the Hellcat logo in the back of the window.
I like it a lot.
What do you think people think? I think people think I have a Hellcat motor stuffed in this thing.
They probably do.
So what do you think that is over there? I don't know if it's a gas station or not. It's probably a food joint.
It's like a food joint.
I don't know.
There's Pals that's packed.
Oh yeah, it's crazy time.
Why?
Because it's Christmas shopping time. They call it Black Friday because it's
Oh, I know.
so it's all about now getting your stuff in order for Christmas. Right? Day after Thanksgiving. Listen to that engine hum. I gotta do a oil change this bad boy. I tried to do it yesterday, and it figures I got the motor oil from the Ford dealer because it takes 5W50 Ford Performance motor oil, and they only had a regular conventional oil filter, and I wanted the K&N high flow performance oil filter, so I couldn't do that, which I really wanted to do that because she's due, but she'll be all right. That's my next project. Went to the Indian motorcycle dealership and had a good old time there and bought some good stuff, and that was fun. And it's so crazy. If you go 10 years ago, it was all about the Harley product for me. I got so much Harley stuff. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, Harley jackets, shirts, you know, the list goes on and on and on. And boy, I need to donate that to somebody, right? I bet you maybe watch my channel and be like, yeah, I'll take that Harley stuff. Well, it'd be nice to get compensated for some of the stuff because I have that FXR gear, and I mean, I have really such nice Harley stuff. Yeah, it would be kind of nice to somebody say, yeah, I'll give you a few pennies for it. And be like, here, let me ship it to you, right? So, it's because Indian ruined it for me, the Harleys. I mean, I'm sorry, Harley guys, and sincerely, you know, this is kind of like you talking about the TRX thing. It isn't that I don't necessarily like your product. The problem is there's something else that I like. So it's not it's not insane. Harley doesn't make a nice product, or Ram doesn't make a nice product. It really isn't that. It's just, for me, I'm not excited about it anymore because somebody made something else that made me more excited. That's all. So no hate, just sharing information, right? Need to do some back roading in the F-150 with the GT350. How about that idea?
Yeah.
How about if the daughter and I kind of line up and do some little free-spirited runs to see how this truck hangs with that GT350?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, daughter's getting excited about that. That'll have to be another day of the Supersnakes or the Shelbys. Daddy-daughter day, truck and car, right? Here comes some Speedy Gonzalez's by us. That's where these trucks, what I notice in these trucks is what I just did, you hit like a dead spot. And what I think it is, it's that, you know, it's the air. It's the total huge amount of volume this truck has against the air. The air, you know, the energy overtakes the vehicle. And if you think about it, the height of this hood of this truck is just about as high as the height of the roof of my Ford Mustang. So then you add all this extra weight up here, you know, it's just huge amount of inertia that you got to overcome in these trucks, which they can't. They can't do it. So you're not going to get that neck jerk thing like you do out of the sports cars, if you know what I mean. You know, these things are it's just too much weight. You know, it's the power to the weight ratio.
The guy.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
I just gave the guy a little blast. See, there's a dead spot. So this truck right there was a dead spot. Let's try it again. See, it's just a whole different animal. So you hear a lot of noise, right? So it's interesting. What happens is this truck actually has its traction control kind of takes over, and it literally doesn't let you get into it anymore. That's kind of the first time I noticed that. You know, you get to a certain speed, and the traction control is truck saying, "Hey, you know, nope, I'm gonna hold you from doing any more power." And if you watched my TRD Pro versus, you know, I did a Charity Pro review, and I did a Ram TRX drive review, little stint, and what I felt in that TRX truck was how the computer was controlling that, you know, power to that drivetrain. And, you know, and to a degree, this truck is doing the exact same thing. Why? It's because, you know, it's just the power to ratio to this vehicle with the amount of energy. I just think that it's a safety factor and a don't break something factor. That's all I can figure out. Is this is four-wheel drive? You know, so this thing's tied into this transfer case, and I'm sure that you got to be careful. You know, the Jeep Trackhawk has the same type of challenge. So we're a little down lower speed. Let's see if we get into it now. Is that wheel? So she's just kind of there, so that's pretty good. Not too bad, right? So now traction control is saying nope. But here I am in this truck, and I can already feel just the speeds I'm at. You know, it's just, you're not going to understand till you drive one of these trucks. Yeah. It kind of gets a little freaky. Now, is she cruise good? Yeah, she's a good cruising machine. You know, I drove this truck down here back in June. And actually, that was a more enjoyable drive. I really thought this truck was going to beat the heck out of me. Because this has a racing suspension in it, and I really thought that it would be really just a jarring trip. But, you know, it was actually more enjoyable. It was actually a pretty enjoyable trip. You know, if you're on pretty good road, then she doesn't beat you up too much. But if you get on some really, you know, rough road, yeah, it gets a little crazy, if you know what I mean. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. Alright, hope you've enjoyed my video today. We're going to do some more back roading in the F-150 Supersnake Shelby product. 770 horsepower. Hope you learned a little bit of something today, baby. And yeah, don't take it too personal out there. The Ram TRX guys. Probably like, why is this guy attacking the TRX guys so much? What's going on with that, right? So I waited close to 3 years to get that truck, and I gave up. You know what I bought? A Supersnake F-150. So sorry, Ram, just took too damn long. And you should have made a two-wheel drive, two-door cab frickin' truck. Can you do that? Nope, I don't get it. I think that's a big fail on Ram's product line. I just don't get it. But oh well, I bought a Ford instead, and I'm very, very happy. Hey, thanks for watching Ice Age TV, and we'll see you next time.